Welcome back to MG Midget, the birth of a race car, capturing my journey from car restoration to the MG Car Club Speed Series in 2022. In this episode we're going to reinstall the wiper mechanism. This is the starting point, how it was taken out of the car. As you can see, it's fairly dirty, it needs cleaning up, but more importantly the wheel boxes themselves are quite stiff. They're going to need to be taken apart, cleaned and re-greased so they're nice and smooth, so there's less friction on the motor, causing the wipers to go quite slow. So the flexible rod as well, that's going to need to be taken out and cleaned, so let's get on with that. As I expected, I've got the wheel boxes off now, and the shaft within it is tight. I think the grease has solidified over the years. So looking at the assembly, it's held on with a spline shaft. So I'm going to try and prise this gear off, then knock the pin out, then I can clean out and re-grease the inside. Using a long drift to push the spindle out. That's come out, and as I suspected, it's fairly well clogged, so I'm going to clean all these parts up, make sure there's no clag or crud on the rotating surfaces, and then that should be good to re-grease and reassemble. What I've done here is completed the first wheel box, and how I've done that is use a wire brush to clean up the threads, put a new nut on. We took out the shaft by banging that out with a drift. What I've done, as you can see on this one, is run a 6.5mm drill down the tube to clean that out. I've cleaned up the shaft, and now by re-greasing this and then pressing this back down, and I need the bench vise to actually push this into place. You can't really do that by hand. I guess you could knock it in with a hammer. But what I've done is use the bench vise and then put the cog on the other side, and again use the bench vise to press that onto the spline that you have here at the end. And by doing that, what I've done is reassembled the wheel box, and as you can see, it spins really smoothly now, nice and smooth. So there'll be no load on the motor there as it's trying to do the wipers, so I'm sure they'll work very effectively. So next step is going to be to reassemble these back to the car, and you can't push them in because of the bulkhead. You can't get the wheel box past that, so you have to assemble this underneath the dashboard to be able to do that. So let's see what that looks like. To make this easier to fit, I've loosely assembled everything, taken the cap off, and pre-assembled all the wiper boxes, and then fed the pipework through, and then loosely assembled this, pushed the wire through, and reconnected that to the rotating shaft here. On the inside, this is assembled underneath the dashboard. It's good to assemble that before you put the dashboard in, just makes access easier. And also there's a support bar that comes over here, which means you can't get the wheel box out. So good to assemble that before you fit the dashboard. Wipers all in place now and tightened up, so the only thing that remains to be done now is just to fit the wiper blades onto the wheel hubs, check for operation, and we can move on to the next job. So just before the end of this video, I'd like to thank everybody who's taken the time to subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot that you're taking an interest in my journey. And also to those who've taken time to comment. I'll certainly be taking time to personally reply to any comments that are made, any feedback you have on the channel. I'll certainly be looking to make some changes from this video onwards. Certainly looking to get more face-to-face camera work and more live action, so you can see how the work is actually done as we go forward from this point. So once again, thanks for subscribing, and let's have a look at the next episode, which is going to be the fitting of the pedal box.